It's about 50 seconds. We've got a rainy day here. Perfect day for some charts and technical analysis. We're going to look at the broader market. We're going to look at some altcoins. We're going to follow up on some altcoins that we looked at last time. Some of the laggards are coming to life. ADA definitely getting a lot of attention today. All right, one more time before we get into the charts. We've got our free ebook this week. We're going through the 7 trading sins to overcome. Lamont does a good job breaking down how they relate to trading, why traders keep making the same mistakes, understanding our own behavior, and practical tips to overcome these sins. Dropping the link in the chat. Check it out. Good info. And exploring the psychological side of things more. That's definitely going to be a common theme in our content. I've been shocked. I did some polls on Twitter, and the answers have been shocking me just in terms of the results. A bunch of different questions related to psychology and trading. So content is definitely going to be favoring psychology. Not favoring, but a lot more psychology focused over the next year or two. So checking in on the broader market just to get the backdrop of where everything stands as we head into checking out where the cryptocurrency stands, or where the cryptocurrency sector stands. So SPY right now is on the verge of seeing daily consolidation. We saw the V-shaped bounce off of our lows. We're seeing some FOMO return to the markets. We're seeing a lot of bearish perspectives shift a bit back to the bull side after seeing how impressive this bounce has become. Again, the big thing for me is once we do top out, do we see aggressive dip buying into continuation? Because that would confirm, right now a lot of bears are still hanging on to this and saying, oh, this is just a bear market bounce. But if you confirm follow through after we top out on the bear market bounce, that will convert a lot more bears in my opinion. And you're definitely seeing some FOMO, people that have cash on the sidelines wanting positions. And so I do believe that there will be some notable buying of the next daily consolidation. I'm also watching QQQ, which is stronger and not close to breaking the low of yesterday where SPY is. So we can pretty much say that QQQ would have to see weakness here if we're going to see any broader market consolidation. And right now we have a very nice resistance guide looking at the NASDAQ futures chart. And if you're watching a level overnight to say, okay, what do I care about in the stock market world related to crypto? This was yesterday's high on the NASDAQ, and you can see we shot straight up and rejected from that. And now we're watching for an hourly tightening range. So if we were to break this double top, it would obviously be a bull break, and that would be a good sign for the crypto bulls. And if it's a bear break, that tells us daily consolidation is underway, and that could potentially be some downward pressure on the crypto space as well. So if you're watching anything in the stock world over the next 24 hours, this is the chart, NAS 100 USD, hourly double top to keep an eye on. So with that, Bitcoin, again, we know we're still weekly tightening up. And we know not to get too excited. We can look at things and say, okay, bulls are standing out a bit stronger. Bulls held up better in Bitcoin than they did in the broader market. And I didn't see it on CNBC, but Lori told me that someone was on CNBC this morning talking about how Bitcoin was potentially a clue for the broader market, holding the recent lows. And considering that's been something I was saying for a very long time in terms of watching for clues and correlations, nice validation to see that on mainstream television. Pretty cool. But if we do not break 45,900, 45.9, we are range bound still. So again, if I'm putting myself in the mindset of all different market participants. If I'm a bear, I can justify my position if 45.9 is resistance. If I'm on the sideline, I can justify remaining in cash as long as that level is resistance. So break that level. And again, it's just a significant shift in where we stand and the mindset of market participants. So that's the level that we're watching for the next however long until we break it or not. And I'm watching the 12-hour time frame. And we just set a 12-hour higher low on Bitcoin, and you can see this entire move off of the low. We've been setting 12-hour higher lows on the way up. And we just set another one at 41.7 thousand. That is a key level, because if that level breaks from here, again, just think of a probability needle. What's the most likely scenario? So what's the most likely scenario for a rejection from weekly resistance to remain within a tightening weekly range? Let's just say it's 50-50 right now. If you lose that 12-hour high or low, probability that we're going to remain within a weekly equilibrium then ticks up to maybe 55, 58%. So it is definitely important to be keeping an eye on this short-term uptrend. And right now we just had a bull break. We're really chopping around a lot on Bitcoin, and we don't have a ton of clarity. There was really a 9-hour range here where we were just sideways, and altcoin bulls liked that because we went sideways, and during that 9 hours, this is what the dominance chart did. So that told us Bitcoin is trading sideways, alts are going higher. And it's been a while since we've seen that. So the dominance chart is at its lows right now. Again, we are scouting for a weekly higher low here, but there's a lot of space as to where that can form. And we can definitely see a good bit further downside. So altcoin bulls always want to see sideways Bitcoin means dominance chart dropping, or ideally Bitcoin going up means dominance chart dropping, because that means the altcoins are going up faster. So keeping an eye on the dominance chart, but again, ever since this daily equilibrium broke bare, altcoin bulls are liking what they are seeing. And ever since that's happened, some of the weaker names that we were keeping an eye on last live stream have started to look pretty darn good for the bulls in the short term. Again, we'll look at those in just a second. I'm talking ADA, SOL, and VET. So short term, just had a little blip there. I think we're back. Double check, make sure we're back. I think we're good. All right, so right now we're looking at the hourly, and we're still in an hourly uptrend. So most important for me, 12-hour high or low, and the best case scenario would be continue this hourly uptrend move to try and test our recent high. Right now it's a daily inside bar for Bitcoin. It may form that way, but again, the 12-hour is where I'm at for clarity. All about 41.7. If bulls are holding 41.7, they are keeping short-term control of Bitcoin. Or you can call it midterm. I guess it depends if you're a day trader or a swing trader. Ethereum has been doing well. So the last time we checked in, I talked about establishing a new swing position, playing the hourly oversold bounce on Ethereum, putting myself in a risk-free position, putting my stop under 2,800. We know the strongest uptrends have our hourly oversold conditions mark our daily higher lows. So I did not stop out. I'm still in that position. And that is ideal scenario. Again, that is one of my favorite trading styles because one of my edges is bounce trading. So if I'm going to trade with a trend, I'm using oversold bounces on the shorter term time frame to position for that bigger picture higher low. So we have another 12-hour higher low. If we're comparing it to Bitcoin here, we've got the 12-hour higher low just set at 29.20. And we can see we're closer to breaking resistance than Bitcoin currently is, but it is a triple top right now. And back here, 30.45, 30.54, and just now we hit 30.47. So there is a triple top of resistance, and we do have to be cautious of that. A bear is going to be hoping that this is a rising wedge. Got to keep an eye on this. It's a possible rising wedge. If it breaks bear, it's a triple top rejection from that key resistance. In addition to that, ETH-BTC is a potential 12-hour head and shoulders. So again, I'm in an Ethereum bullish position, and I don't have a bear bias at all, but I'm looking at the charts and I'm looking at every single way that I can see a red flag in my bullish position. And if we set a 12-hour lower high on this BTC pairing, that's going to be a red flag for me. So keeping a close eye on that. And the Ethereum bulls really want to take out this level here and just form a quick hourly higher low and resistance break, but I may take some more profit now that I'm looking at this just in the moment here. Not yet. I'm going to give the bulls a better chance or another chance, but if we pull back here and then we just form an hourly lower high, I'm going to take a little bit more of my long position off because again, I can just see shaping up the potential of a bear break here on this rising wedge. So not yet, but I will be a bit quicker to exit some positions if the bulls do continue to struggle with this triple top. And again, it would be ETH BTC giving me that clue if that lower high does form here for the potential head and shoulders. So ADA USDT, bulls standing out in a big way. The last time we checked in, I was talking about the 2-day time frames, which were tightening up, and we were watching the BTC pairings and the USD pairings, and we have seen, wrong coin, we have seen a significant bull break on ADA. When's the last time, you look at my list here, when's the last time ADA has been the lead bull? It's been a long time. Used to be the lead bull all the time for a while. So this is a very notable bull break. We zoom out to the weekly time frame, and we can see a weekly bounce is taking place. We've got EMA 12 resistance currently being tested. We know if this move is going to have significant follow through, we will eventually have to confirm a weekly trend change, but bulls want to create as much space as possible before we top out for that space to form the weekly high or low. So it is a notable bounce, but again, we're not getting overly excited. We've seen bounces this big in the past that did just result in lower lows. The BTC pairing is also doing the same thing. The 2-day time frame, just a slow grind down and a big fast shift to the bulls. And again, this is why I'm always talking about falling wedges on BTC pairings, because we just get these slow grind, perpetual grinds down forever. And when they flip fast and hard. And this is certainly an example where, we just traded sideways. We were in a grind down forever. We then traded sideways and built a base of support for over a week, and then the scales tilted. And we're about to see the first bull cross of the EMA 12 and 26 here in multiple months, in about 2-3 months. So a notable shift underway. So we're watching short-term trends. How long can the bulls remain in the spotlight? Look at the hourly time frame. Compare ADA USD to ADA BTC. Are they doing the same thing? I would say yes, they are in the spotlight right now. If you can't tell who's who when I do this, that means they are very significantly correlated. And we're just watching the hourly uptrend, the 4-hour uptrend, and we'll be watching for clues that the spotlight is fading, but right now ADA is in the spotlight coming off the low. The other names that we were looking for, VET was a very similar setup. 2-day time frame has not broken yet. Maybe it's going to be a laggard. Keeping an eye out for VET to have its turn. So higher low set, here we go testing resistance. What does the BTC pairing look like? Do we have any clues here? Well, it's testing its resistance sooner. So if the BTC pairing breaks first, that increases the odds significantly that the USD pairing is going to break as well. But it's the same setup, it just has not broken bull yet. So bulls are definitely watching this to be a laggard. And Sol was also the same setup, 2-day time frame. And Sol yesterday was the weakest of the three. I've just been keeping these three as a grouping in my brain and checking in on them every day. Who's stronger, who's weaker? Yesterday, ADA was stronger, was able to just look at all three and say ADA is the strongest of these three names and Sol is the weakest. And that's still the case as we see Sol's resistance is still over 10% to the upside. So if I have to rank them all, they're very similar 2-day time frames. ADA broke bull, VET is heading to resistance, Sol has not broken yet and is the furthest to do so. That being said, the BTC pairing gave us some clues here. So I talk about the BTC pairing oftentimes when scouting strength and weakness, relative weakness. It can also tell us when volatility is coming. So this morning I saw this pattern and I say, volatility is coming to Sol. So 6:31 a.m., volatility is incoming as Sol BTC is getting very tight. It's the weakest name of the three, and it's trying to play catch up. So couldn't say it was going to break bull or break bear, but we could look at the other names in the grouping and say, well, ADA is breaking bull, so I have a bull lean that this pattern is going to break bull as well. But again, just a clue that at 6:30 in the morning, Sol is down here doing nothing, but we know that BTC pairing is real tight and we know to watch for volatility. And so there's your spike, Sol playing catch up, but still the laggard behind other names. Scouting an hourly high or low on both pairings. So the big question over the next few days, and what I'm going to consistently be checking in on, is VET following ADA, and is SOL following as well, and watching their BTC pairings, because again, their BTC pairings are making a significant shift over the last 4 or 5 days or so. What marked the shift on these BTC pairings? It was the Bitcoin dominance chart breaking the pattern of a higher low every week and starting its weekly consolidation. So again, it's just all these little clues. And I know this is a more complex way to be looking at markets. I did not look at these pairings at all 2017, 2018 when trading crypto. But as the space matures and develops, and there's more bots and algos and automated trading, and there's more altcoins to be playing, and there's more capital flying around, I found it a whole lot more useful to know where to focus, because otherwise you're looking at 85 million coins and saying, where am I focusing? Yeah, you can focus on the top 10 market cap coins, and that definitely helps narrow it down. But I am always watching for the BTC pairing to give me patterns that I am comfortable with trading. Haven't checked in on Mana in a while. Mana BTC was trying to form this weekly higher low, and it's just stuck. It's just continuously setting these lower highs, again, at this point for over a month. And we have to see something change for a weekly higher low to be set. I haven't traded Mana in a long time because of the BTC pairing weakness. I was trading Mana here, looking for a healthy weekly higher low. Have not traded it over the last 3 weeks as that BTC pairing really just lost it. Tried to hold on here. It was that falling wedge. That's what it was. We were watching that falling wedge that broke bear. And as soon as it broke bear, I took it off my list. And again, it's just my attention span is valuable. And if a coin is not doing what it's supposed to in terms of a trade setup coming to me, I ditch it. So we broke the falling wedge bear. We backtest and reject. All right, see you, Mana. Not interested in you. I'll keep checking in. I'll put 5 minutes into your analysis every 3 days. But you didn't set the weekly higher low when I wanted it. So I'm done with you. Luna, and then I'll interact with you all here in the chat room and see what you all are looking at. So Luna on the daily time frame, bulls are keeping control here. Again, Luna is positioned for an all-time high if Bitcoin can break its weekly resistance of 45.9 thousand. In Luna BTC, is there any difference? Fairly similar, a little bit weaker on the BTC pairing with the red day yesterday, but not significantly. And both pairings, weekly inside bars, working on a second weekly inside bar in a row. And if we form by the end of Sunday, I take that back. All right, so that is a little clue. So US dollar pairing, inside bar bull break, BTC pairing does not have the same bull break. That's a little bit of a red flag for me as a bull. If I'm a bull, I look at that and say, okay, it doesn't mean I have to sell, doesn't mean that Luna USDT bulls are done for, but it's the first little indication that needs to tell me, okay, start looking at things through a bear's glasses and start looking for red flags that momentum is shifting, because the BTC pairing is not following. So here's this resistance here, the high of March 15th on the Luna BTC pairing, and we broke it on the USD pairing. So I would say that a little bit of a red flag that the BTC pairing is not participating in the recent last 3 or 4 days of strength for Luna. And I know I'm losing, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I lose so many viewers because I'm talking about this BTC pairing stuff and it's over so many traders' heads because it's more advanced. But I just have to. I can't dumb down my content and say, Bitcoin gonna break out to all-time highs, we need to see this level break, and we're more advanced here with the chart, guys. So I appreciate you sticking with it, because this is definitely year 3+ content for trading. This is not year 1. And if you're getting this all in year 1, then you're definitely way ahead of the game. But this is year 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm reading the chat room. Usually, how long does a swing trade take? For me, anything over a day. For me, it's a day trade, a swing trade. I can do a longer term swing trade where I'm looking multiple months, and then it's long term, no touch. Those are the way I break down. That's the way I break down time frames. I am looking at meme stocks. Okay, so let's tie that together. So GME, look at this move the last 2 days. Why do I care about the meme stocks related to crypto? 60% move in 2 days. AMC is doing the same thing. We even saw a pop in the Canadian MJ sector as a result. So why do I care about that? Because to me, it's not a dash to trash for me. A dash to trash occurs at the top. To me, it shows risk on mindset. It shows traders saying, okay, we've bounced significantly over the last 6 days in the broader market. Let's throw some money around. Let's gamble. Let's go high risk. And in my opinion, that's what's going on here. And again, whenever I say Reddit names, I don't think it's Redditors pumping these names. I think it's professional traders and hedge funds using social media metrics like Reddit to trade and to take advantage of volatility and to try and squeeze some shorts and all that. So again, whenever I'm looking at altcoins, and just for those of you that this is all over your head, go to our Twitter page, click the pinned tweet, and here is a graphic just as a guide to just grasp the relationship between Bitcoin and the altcoins and how they are related to each other. That can help. But again, it took me a while. It took me weeks of just trying to rationalize it in my brain. Okay, what is going on? But it really helps to pinpoint where the action is, where the strength is in the crypto space. So as I go through altcoins here, looking at what you all want to look at, the first thing I do is just look at the BTC pairings because I know what Bitcoin looks like. So I want to know, how does this altcoin look compared to Bitcoin? Should a bull be in this altcoin or should a bull be in Bitcoin? That's the information that I want to know. So if I'm looking at Matic BTC on the daily time frame, I can see there's a shift underway. So I can see that we have rejected from daily EMA 12 resistance 100 times in the last month plus, and we're now just trying to get over it. And this is a trend change attempt. Let's go to the 2-day time frame. Now let's stick to the daily. So on the daily here, I'm viewing this as a low, a high, higher low. And if we break 3667, which is a double top at the moment, but if that level breaks, it's a notable daily trend change and the weekly bounce is then underway. Look at this pattern where we've been dropping. It's been a lower high every single week for the last 5 weeks. We're on the verge of that pattern breaking. So this tells me that your money was better off in Bitcoin for a significant amount of time, but your money has been better off to be in Matic over the last week plus. QQQ's making a bear break here. Just rolling over, further hourly consolidation on that double top rejection. So I want to know, is Bitcoin dropping because of QQQ? And the answer is probably. There's definitely a correlation there. We topped out at 1220. We've been in a 5-minute downtrend since. QQQ topped out at 12, and we've been in a 5-minute downtrend since. So definitely very similar. And have to keep an eye on that because if QQQ shapes up daily consolidation, that's going to be another point in favor of me lightening up some of my ETH and BTC swing trades if the broader market starts daily consolidation. Because again, that's just added downward pressure on the crypto space. But not yet. I'm giving bulls a chance. Just willing to give back some profits to give the bulls some time. If I'm too fast, you can change the settings and slow down the playback speed. Some people listen to me on 0.5, some people listen to me on 1.5. All depends on how long they've been listening to me. Do I have rules for buying long-term no touch? Absolutely. I need significant fear. It's the only time I'm going to buy long-term no touch. The only long-term no touch stock position I have was from the CVID dump. And we have not seen enough fear in the crypto space. I probably won't ever add any more I have all the long-term no touch that I want in crypto from 2017, 2018. Yeah, so I'm probably not adding any more crypto long-term no touch. If there was some kind of project that really wowed me and we're going to gain national exposure and usage, then I might. But if I'm going to add any long-term no touch stock position, I was close just now, and I do have some, I have some Tesla and some Facebook from 2 weeks ago, but I was real close because SPY's weekly RSI was on the verge of oversold. And if you go back historically, every single time SPY has hit weekly oversold, it's been a good time to buy. So I was close to buying more long-term no-touch stock positions, but wasn't quite fearful enough. But I do have some swing positions from recent fear. So SPY's at the low of the day. So things are shifting. We got to keep an eye on Bitcoin to see if it's going to join here in the weakness. What I really want to see is just an hourly high or low here on Bitcoin, ideally holding EMA, to show me a bullish correlation with the broader stock market. I'm not moonlighting as a turkey bouncer. It's just a call to duty yesterday. I've been keeping an eye on Rune, although it is pulling back on the daily. It's worth scouting a daily high or low on the BTC pairing and the USD pairing. And again, one of the reasons that I bought Ethereum when I did for that hourly oversold bounce to establish a swing position was because both pairings were testing EMA 12-hour EMA 12 support. So I can be watching Rune BTC to try and set up a daily high or low off of EMA 12 support. Ideally, seeing 4-hour oversold conditions. But after missing, if you missed the initial bull run or you took some profits, definitely keeping an eye out to see if bulls can hold that level to keep this consolidation very healthy. MARA is a crypto mining stock. It's trying to be a little cup and handle here. And I know it doesn't, cup and handle for me is more to do, this is what matters for me on a cup and handle. And I'm not going to call it a cup and handle because it's not a cup and handle. But the psychology of a cup and handle is a left side of resistance that is very clear that everybody sees. You consolidate for a while, you fail that resistance, and then you bull flag. So what is happening when that takes place is there's a run up to resistance, bulls take profit under resistance, bears short just under that resistance. It's a top fish. If I short at 31 and I put my stop at 31.51, I have very low risk. And it is a worthwhile trade if we pull back in any way. And so that happens, and if you bull flag and then see continuation, you stop out all those new top fishing bears, and bulls that are buying the resistance break add the fuel to the fire. So MARA is a potential daily bull flag with a double top of resistance. And pretty much if Bitcoin's going to head up to test 35.9 thousand, this will break bull. That's really what it boils down to. And if Bitcoin rejects, then we're going to keep trading range bound, just like Bitcoin will keep trading range bound. But it's definitely worth watching for clues. There's been a couple times recently where the bulls have been stronger on crypto stocks than Bitcoin on certain given days. So I'm watching this retracement size on MARA, and if this remains healthy, that's a good thing for crypto bulls. And there's a lot of space for this to maintain as a bull flag. This is going to have my top attention over the next couple of days to see what this consolidation looks like. So macro for me, the rest of the year, it's all about looking for a monthly high or low. So I have a bull bias on this weekly tightening range for two reasons. Number one, we held on better than stocks over the last 2 months. Bitcoin did not drop to lower lows when stocks did. Number two, we're in a monthly uptrend. I'm scouting a monthly high or low. I'm playing with the trends as long as we're in a monthly uptrend. Again, we will have to be talking about a monthly head and shoulders if we do break this range bull. That is on the table. So we're not going to ignore that. We will have to be cautious of that. But first things first, we're looking for a bull break. 2 monthly inside bars above last monthly support, which is why I have these swing positions in case this monthly bounce gets going. And the Ethereum monthly is very similar. So we will have to be cautious of Head and Shoulders, but we're not even going to talk about it unless these monthly inside bars break bull. Then we'll be keeping an eye on it. Nice job, Chris, on the ADA wedge. So Adam BTC has been weak, and apparently I drew this a while ago. So this is what bulls needed to be cautious of. If we confirm a weekly downtrend here, it's definitely a major red flag after this double top. So the BTC pairing is weaker, and it'll be very notable if this support level of 6078 breaks. That'll be the first weekly downtrend in a handful of months. So really, the only way that Atom bulls are going to show up here is if Atom BTC can hold a weekly high or low and give us an equilibrium and fend off a confirmed weekly downtrend. Any advice for someone who's been struggling and taking lumps learning this trade? If you're not on year 4, you haven't even started. So just continue to remind yourself how long this takes. I'm on year 11. I did not find the consistency to know that I could do this forever as long as there's markets until year 5. So if you're on year 1, 2, 3, just starting. And again, it's hard to compare, 1 year of 5 days a week is very different than 1 year of weekends. So that matters as well, how much time you're putting in. You can't replicate looking at 10,000 charts. You just can't. There's no way to speed up. I mean, you can speed up that process by putting in more time. There's no way to skip that process. You have to register in your brain watching how price movement takes place time and time and time again. Okay, we have massive volatility. We keep forming tightening ranges after massive volatility. I'm going to learn how to trade equilibriums because they seem to happen fairly often. Okay, we run up into RSI over 80 on the daily, and that's the great time to take profit. I learned that lesson, and I'll do it next time. You've got to see so many charts to just learn. You're learning a language. You're learning a new language, and it's just digital on the screen, and it's pictorial, but it's a language. Lots of time. Coin is weaker than other crypto names. It dropped to lower lows. Bitcoin did not drop to lower lows. MARA did not drop to lower lows. So I'm viewing coin on the weekly and just look at the clear weekly lower highs. Nothing will change as long as the weekly lower highs keep forming. So if on this bounce, if we don't break 205.88, it's just another weekly lower high. So coin it has a bearish correlation to Bitcoin. It does a lot of what Bitcoin does, but it is weaker. And again, you can look at it on TradingView here. I can do coin divided by MARA. And this just tells me that MARA has been stronger than coin since January 21st. For 2 months, MARA has just been consistently gaining strength comparative to coin. There was a time there where coin was stronger, but not for the last 3 months. You will always take losses. I take losses every single week. I've taken multiple losses, well, maybe not today, but in the last 2 days. Being a day trader, if I take 15 trades, I take multiple losses. You have to get real used to losing to be a trader. I lose all the time. I just win more. Is there a price I would start selling my long-term crypto holdings? There are scenarios. For example, I said on this most recent run, if we do go to 100,000, I'm selling long-term positions. Because if we had gone straight to 100,000 on this move, I would have been extremely confident that I could reload those positions lower. And in the current setup, there's not a scenario where I have that same mindset. Euphoria, massive euphoria is where I will look to scale out long-term no-touch positions. but I would need 100,000 plus to consider something massive euphoria at this point. All depends on how we get there. How much percent is a year maker for me? Honestly, at this point, I'm in cruise control. So if you give me 10% on all of my trading accounts, across all those trading accounts, you give me those 10% a year, I have everything I need and more. So my goals have shifted considerably, and that's coming after 6,000% gains in a couple of years thanks to some euphoria markets. So I was aggressive, but now 10% a year and I'm golden. I don't trust the market to just put my money in and let it sit. I want to be in control. I want to be steering the ship. But my hurdle is much lower than it used to be. And last year, my goal was 10% and I got 33% or something like that across all accounts. So it definitely doesn't mean I stop. It's just a very modest, this is all I want to be happy. Rain coming. It's been raining all day. All right, last one here, and I got to get back to the stock world. Hi. So it still doesn't have a lot of volume. Your average hourly volume is still under $1 million, right around $1 million. I guess it's better than nothing. It's not bad liquidity. I don't like those upper wicks. I mean, that shows me a lack of liquidity, that you can shoot up 100% and then give it all right back. So not my kind of chart just because of that. Obviously a higher risk, higher reward name. Let's see if we've got more price history elsewhere. It's a nice 4-hour equilibrium. I would just smooth this out and say high, low, lower high, higher low. Anything under 7 is a lower high. Most important support for me is 560. All right. Appreciate you all. We'll be back soon. Check out that free ebook. Go through our YouTube channel. I find so many people ask me questions, and it's just clear that they haven't gone through the YouTube channel. We've got a whole playlist here of market psychology and trading lifestyle, and we've got multiple Ask Me Anythings where I talk about my trading journey and I talk about my mindset in trading and how I trade and all that. But just tons of what does priced in mean? My routine as a day trader. There's just so many. I mean, when you have 7,000 videos, play around on these playlists and check things out. How I trade crypto breakdown. So many people ask me about my oversold bounce strategy. How's that for a face? It's all right here. I lay it out in depth, exactly my trading style for playing bounces in this video. Do good things. Keep watching those stock market videos as well, because we definitely want to be keeping an eye on whether or not we're going to be talking all-time highs in the S&P 500 or whether or not we're going to be talking